Hello everyone, welcome. Good evening. It is the ESL Pro League, match day number 10 of Season 6 of the North American Division. That just came out in a jumble, but we're back together, the OG duo. Haven't seen each other since match day number 1, but here we are.
Yeah, here we are. It is week 4, and we've got some exciting games. Once again, we have that OpTic lineup that's starting to gel together and find something nice. And today against compLexity, what can we possibly say to give compLexity some sort of edge, just to back them just a little bit, really? Just everyone's thinking it, we won't say it, but what do you think this game's going to end up like?
Maybe believe really hard.
Believe really hard.
Belief is only going to get you so far, then executions as well as teamplay. Well, we'll talk about that more afterwards.
Yeah,
obviously, it's more skewed towards OpTic. Later on today, we also have Ghost, one of the developmental teams coming out of the ECA Mountain Dew League, playing up against Cloud9, which is... it's not going to be
It's almost worse than the OpTic compLexity thing, isn't it, really? It's like, oh no. You know what? It's Counter-Strike. Anyone can win.
Yeah, because
I mean, you could make a 5-stack and take on OpTic, and that's just silly.
No, I don't think.
Go on, Kevin.
I don't think we can make a match, you know, a 5-stack and a match make and still take down one of these teams. There's a reason why they're one of the best in the world.
What if I kick Arlo in the head really hard before?
I still don't think they'll make a difference.
Yeah, probably not, eh?
Yeah, we shouldn't advocate violence. That's actually, that's...
kick him with love and respect.
No, you have to hug him.
Right, yeah.
You hug him. If he's
come onto him really
if he's bot Alu mode, you hug him, and then he becomes God Alu, and then he'll just drop a 30.
Even bot Alu would destroy us. But we digress. The games today.
Yes,
oh, sorry, that was a really mistimed throw to you.
Yes, it was a very mistimed.
Tell us about the games today.
Okay, so obviously we're starting off with OpTic up against compLexity. We can talk it to death, but really this OpTic lineup is now starting to shape up quite well. They've moved towards North America. And just earlier today, playing against Misfits, which we'd argue is one of the kind of teams that are pushing towards the top tier in NA, completely destroyed. Yeah. OpTic 16-4, 16-4. And there's not much you can say about that. If you're destroying such a good structured team where they play such, you know, really, really solid fundamental Counter-Strike, what do you do as a team with compLexity, who are lower tier? They try to play structured Counter-Strike. They've got experience behind them, but obviously not the firepower, not even the prestige near, I guess, Misfits.
Yeah, old mate Sean Garrers and his muscles just not quite enough to edge out OpTic Gaming. They're getting absolutely whomped though. Here we still see Misfits just carrying through, obviously their good form, you know, leading the way, but OpTic obviously probably still favourites to top something out. Maybe SK is also in the mix there as well, but should be interesting here against compLexity. Like you said, they're kind of like a carbon copy where the pencil wasn't really pushed hard enough like Misfits, right? Like they're kind of similar in their play styles. And Slemmy, once again, very experienced, very in-depth IGL, but you know, nothing to the likes of really Sean Garrers. And then the support network there isn't quite there, and we should see something similar to what we saw against Misfits against those two teams. Yeah,
whereas now I guess the support network as well as the flashbangs and everything is just well timed for OpTic Gaming, which is what was expected of OpTic once they, you know, sat down for a bit, had a few prac sessions, talked it over. I mean, it's now a decent time after the player break. You can see exactly what happens when the players start practicing together and when they peak. Just pointing out FaZe, you know, the super teams that we always hype up about. Now it looks like it's OpTic's turn as well. Still early days in the Pro League. I mean, looking towards the standing still, it's not as if it's like, all right, these are definitely solidified teams. It's still a lot of games to be played between all of them. What was worrying for me, because later on we will be, I guess, seeing them play, is Cloud9's position. They're definitely nowhere near the top. And that is something, yeah, all right, there's 2 players being changed out, but still, it's worrying signs, a worrying trend.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like you said, they're kind of like in the OpTic position, maybe not as a drastic change-up, but I mean, you could get whiplash watching this team. I mean, sometimes their results are just like, here we go, this is the time Cloud9 has finally arrived, and then other times it's just like, hey, bring back nothing, bring back Shroud, what's going on? Oh my God. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, you're saying it is still early days in the league. You know, maybe they'll get an opportunity to go ahead and kind of prove themselves as this 5-stack. But having said that, we've seen this with previous Cloud9 iterations. They make the swap. It's the promising new lineup to dominate NA, really compete with those top-tier EU teams, and then they just fall flat. And you know, it does lend itself to that because there is so much pressure there on Tariq and Rush.
I think Tariq and Rush are fine. I think it's more looking at
the rest of the scrubs on Cloud9.
No, you can't really call them scrubs. It's more looking at, I guess, roles being redefined in Cloud9. But well, we can talk more about Cloud9 later. There's entire, you know, 4 matches coming up. But what is important to note that the ECA Mountain Dew League is a developmental league, which is helping teams push forward and kind of get in towards the Pro League to meet the meet the teams at the top, and there are 3 so far coming out. Splice, Rogue, and Ghost Gaming. I mean, Ghost and Rogue kind of sitting at the bottom, but at least you can see the structure coming forward. They're making changes to the team to see if they can get any further up in Splice. Promising start so far. They're not doing too bad at the Pro League. I mean, it's not setting the world on fire, to quote one of my favorite players, or not favorite players, but favorite casters, Elfish Guy. But they're doing pretty well.
It's not, this is their kind of second roll to dice where they kind of came back with a resurgence. They're here, they want to stay this time. They want to kind of avoid that relegation factor. And, just depending on that, because you started the point with the Mountain Dew League, it is a great opportunity for these teams to kind of come in. Obviously, there's kind of like that skill gap, but, this is the opportunity for them to kind of close it out and really prove themselves at this sort of top tier of Counter-Strike. Having said that, we might see that deficit every now and then, but, that's expected, I guess.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at match day number 10 schedule. As we see on the mainstream, Renegades versus NRG, and then CLG versus SK Gaming. Both very, very solid matchups, but I would argue that OpTic versus compLexity is a good matchup in its own right. Later on, I used to be a Ghost fanboy, and then I saw what happened. I was like, oh, my heart's wavering at the moment. I don't know if I can support you boys that hard. I like rooting for the underdogs that show a lot of fighting spirit. Today, I've heard that they've dropped ZQK and they replaced him with Dallas, one of the players from Talked, and now the Ghost Gaming lineup is actually a Canadian lineup because it's 3 Canadians and 2 Americans.
Oh no, not Canada. Well, it's funny you say you used to be a Ghost fanboy because I used to be a pretty hardcore Cloud9 fanboy myself, and with the lineup change, I don't know, maybe I was just a Nothing fan or a Sean Garris fan. He's an attractive young man, but this has gone back to the heyday. Having said that, this Cloud9 iteration could be the best we've ever seen. Just not yet.
It's still roles being chopped and changed, and a lot of the interviews has always gone back towards, I guess, Stewie. You normally expect Stewie to be the impact player. He's been consistently the lowest impact player in his team so far, and he has admitted that he's struggling and trying to identify with a new role. I mean, he's not the IGL anymore. He's playing kind of like a lurker hybrid, which is normally the position that Automatic used to be in.
A lurker hybrid sounds like a StarCraft.
Yeah, it sounds like a Hydralisk, but
yeah.
But more in the sense, I guess, it's kind of like he's trying to adopt a semi-watt lurker role. It's not the full lurker role that you expect an Automatic to be playing in, but it's definitely something. It's not the second or first entry that Stewie used to be.
Yeah.
So he's trying to identify, all right, how am I meant to be playing this?
Absolutely. Because I mean,
still got his hopes up.
Yeah, it's difficult, right, for a player like Stewie. He wants to be dynamic. He wants to be that kind of key player in the role. But sometimes those lurker roles, they don't really pan out. There's a change of momentum, and he has to really adapt to that and really stick to the consistency that comes with a role like that adaptive lurker role, and maybe he's just struggling with that a little bit. But, we know the potential that he does have as a player. I'm sure if that doesn't work out for him, they'll find a role. And once, obviously he is kind of like the catalyst for that lineup to really fire off, right?
Yep. Well, we're talking a lot about Stewie 2K, but if you want to vote for your favorite player or include your discussion in it, make sure you go down and vote for the PaySafe Card fan vote for your most favorite player.
Yeah, we
already know who yours is.
It's either Stewie or Automatic. Kusta maybe. I'm just riffing off a bunch of the NA Asian guys.
Did you say you like Sean Gers?
Oh, man, he's so dreamy, isn't he?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's been a wild start so far. I mean, instantly back when we just talked about
fan vote, PaySafe Card fan vote in line with the Counter-Strike play style, not your man crushes. There's a tip for you.
Yeah, that's Danny's tip. But also, as well, these players, what they're competing for is to actually fight in the city of Odense. I think that's the correct way of pronouncing it, but I could have butchered the pronunciation. But it is a massive tech hub, and apparently they're looking for the next big innovators. So if you think you got a creative brain and whatnot, and you got the degree for it, check it out down there. Fairly certain there's a lot of advertisement going on about it at the moment, but it looks pretty sick. I mean,
yeah, it's pretty good.
I enjoy technology. I'm a bit of a nerd.
Just a little bit. Silicon Valley of the North. I don't know.
North?
Of the North. But I just threw that out there. I don't even know if it's North, to be honest with you. But
well,
Odin,
I guess
it's a good place for the technologies. I also love technology. I like my Game Boy and my things. And Kareth, I kind of need you to save me into this hole I've dug for myself.
I'm not saving you from any hole. I was like, it's okay. You can pass the shovel back at any time. I'll go put it away, and then you're just like, no, I'm gonna hold onto the shovel, but I need you to dig me out of it.
I might have to hit myself with that shovel, but yes, let's carry on about the pro leagues.
Yes, let's go back towards the Pro League. I mean, Odense is where the teams will be playing at the finals, and it is the technology hub. But now on towards this matchup where it is the 2 top teams in America at the moment. I don't want to specify that these 2 are the top teams because I think it's very misleading to say Misfits top team. like, top 2. I'd argue probably towards the mid-tier, top mid-tier, lower top tier, where they're contesting with, well, Cloud9's not really top tier anymore. They're
Yeah,
not
I
winning
mean,
consistently enough for me to kind of go that the top tier. It's kind of dropped off into mid-tier. I'm looking at top tier as SK Gaming, surely from Brazil, but SK Gaming.
Well, it's that kind of weird thing where Cloud9 have that. When you see the matchup, obviously not from the last couple of times they met, but when you see the matchup, Cloud9 are the kind of guys that can take it to those top-tier teams. You wouldn't put it past them. There's always kind of that chance they'll bring it through, whereas, the Misfits sort of don't have that kind of firepower and that X factor that you think maybe they can take it through the top teams. Having said that, Misfits seem to have the consistency when it comes to those kind of mid-tier battles across NA. I think that's why you can kind of put them aligned with each other, but there's no doubting that Cloud9 have a lot more potential at this stage and really realize potential that could actually, make them into a top team, whereas the Misfits are kind of grinding out that sort of long game and really trying to establish themselves at the top. So I think that's why you can sort of put them at that mid there.
Yeah. Yes and no. I think it's hard to say just because the Cloud9 lineup, the prestige is there. I mean, sure, we make fun of, Peanut Brain and everything, but it's probably more of a meme at this stage rather than an insult. You can't look past the fact that these guys on Cloud9 have been playing at the top level for how long. Whereas on the side of Misfits, sure, they're a lineup that are developing together. That's not a word. Developing together, but they don't have the same prestige. They haven't played at the top level, most of them, alongside with, the best in the region for that long. So it's kind of like the whole structure versus raw talent. Where structure, if you grind out together, maybe like it's not saying that the Misfits player on an individual basis are not brilliant. They're great players, but I'd say on a one-on-one basis, who would you give the advantage to? Would you give it towards Automatic or would you give it towards Amanek? Most of the people would choose, probably Automatic's going to take it. But in a team lineup, anything goes.
Yeah.
Team, I would say Misfits, way better, much more structure. They're working together, much more in unison compared to Cloud9. But one-on-one, just sheer mechanical ability-wise, most of the players on Cloud9 will take over anyone on Misfits. Maybe except for Sick. That's about it.
Interesting how that works, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, let's take a quick look at the team lineups between our first game. We talked enough about Cloud9 as well as, or just Cloud9 really. OpTic gaming up against compLexity. Obviously, the OpTic lineup of the EU, they're playing in NA at the moment. Mixwell, Magisk Boy, Freiburg, Alu, and HS, and compLexity. Definitely not a roster, a mix of roster of experience as well as young talent. Young talent in terms of Yay and Android X23, Death, Slemmy, and P-Dot, filling up the rest of the compLexity lineup. They've been around for quite a bit, but once again, it just feels like a massive mismatch, You look at these guys, maybe Slemmy's competed at the top level, Def kind of around it, but nowhere near like this major kind of lineup that OpTic Gaming have put together. Because that's what it is. If OpTic Gaming in this iteration do not make a major and probably in towards at least the quarterfinals, you got, barring a unfavorable draw, you got to be thinking, man, that is a big waste of potential. Because that should be a quarterfinal majors lineup at the very minimum.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to agree with you. I mean, if you look at them both and you both put them in that kind of mixed bag category, you have a mixed bag of players from the very top of Counter-Strike, at least for the last couple of years, and then you kind of have that mixed bag that have kind of been almost joining those top tiers in NA, but just haven't quite found themselves in a proper lineup there. Having said that, this compLexity Gaming is a very solid lineup for, just solely that kind of North American region. Having said that, this OpTic Gaming is like an international started lineup. On train, you can't really see it going any other way today, I don't think. Having said that, compLexity Gaming has put up some solid scorelines. They haven't gotten that W, which is all important, but we could see potentially, them getting into those double digits, but it'd be quite an ask for them to take anything away from OpTic Gaming today.
I think it's too difficult. I mean, as much as I want to believe, as much as I want to go compLexity, they have, they do have structure. They have a little bit of firepower to kind of contest with the best, but OpTic are coming into this with really great form. 16-4, 16-4 over Misfits, a team which we were talking about earlier because we'd say, on paper, a much better team than compLexity. I don't see how compLexity, barring that one of these guys play lights out, they could take it against OpTic, and OpTic would just step it up. They would know exactly how to counter, a player which is going absolutely hot. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen OpTic. They were slow to start. We saw that map with Inferno in that first week where they kind of gave 16-10. They kind of got a little bit complacent. It was like I guess it was their first time out as well in the second map. But if they're a bit slow to start here, they just give too much, lenience towards complexity. They could sneak away with something. They got 16-12 against SK complexity on trail on the same map. I mean, if they give that sort of might, you just can't see it happening.
No, there's a difference.
Give them something.
In my mind,
throw them a bone.
No. In my mind, there is a massive difference between OpTic playing on 130 ping and just starting together, and OpTic with structure. It's a completely different beast.
Yeah.
And that's just, I'm fairly certain that Betway odds will reflect that. I'm fairly certain it'll be like 90 to 10%. There we are. I don't know how they convert to. That's about 80 to 20, but 90% to 10%. That's about right.
Betway 375. That means you get. If I put $1, I'll get 375 back. Is there someone available? Just whip like a cheeky 20 on there or something. Obviously, we wouldn't do that, but I think that's all right. 375 for complexity. That kind of makes me.
I still wouldn't put it. It's not, to quote Pilly, it's even if he was a betting man, maybe sometimes occasionally he put money on X amount of team because the payout's better. It's not worth the risk in my mind. Complexity, either OpTic is, in the last 3 hours, one of them had to food poisoning and just completely...
Wait, are you saying this is fact or is this a hypothetical?
A hypothetical.
Okay, yeah, sure.
So
right,
hypothetical, it's that one of the OpTic players has to be sick and just literally cannot touch the mouse.
Yeah.
And then complexity have to be borderline, just you have to be thinking the guy's cheating for them to even have a chance. And even then, you still think OpTic have the caliber to take it through.
Yeah.
It's just the difference.
Absolutely. No, I absolutely agree with you there. OpTic are a different kind of team, but you know what? You got to believe in Slemmy and the boys here. I'm gonna back them for like a really ground out 16-14. I know you're looking at me crazy. Everyone else is thinking no chance. Rip Slemmy, rip complexity, rip Android. But having said that, if everything goes right, complexity are the kind of team that can take this map. I mean, they're confident on train. If everything goes right, like let's say all 5 OpTic players had like a mild food poisoning yesterday. One of their cats got run over. Android goes ham. Peter goes ham with the AWP onto train. And then everything else goes right for complexity, I think they can grind this out. But obviously a lot of factors in there that have nothing to do with CS. Your face right now is just like, what?
It's just a perplexed, bamboozled face. I don't think there's actually much that... Yeah, complexity...
Are you telling me complexity, and they go off, they have a very solid start, OpTic, they're not feeling the best of ways, maybe potentially there's, I don't know, some sort of jet lag, they wanted some trip to Ibiza, and they're a bit slow to start here, and they don't get the favoured side that, complexity can't put up a fight. So you're just that much of an OpTic fanboy, huh?
It's not... I'm just being a realist
yeah,
at this stage.
Absolutely. That's why we love you, mate.
It's before
the
I could
numbers,
kind of
man.
look at, okay, this team can underperform and this team can overperform. But when was the last time that we've seen this team underperform for OpTic?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's still very early days, and I mean, if anything, you'd be right in saying that if anything, we haven't seen them perform to their full potential. Which is a scary thought, especially me kind of trying to back complexity into this. But I'm seeing that 16-14 is Counter-Strike, man. Anything can happen.
16, well, not anything most of the time, but 16-10 is probably the best odds I could give towards complexity in terms of a loss. I mean, if they hit double digits in the way that if they play structured, it depends on what kind of way that complexity are able to earn respect, right? Because if OpTic, they go up, I don't know, X amount of rounds, and they just start pushing, and then complexity wins rounds. That's not really winning rounds. It's just more of the fact that OpTic are gifting rounds.
Yeah.
But if it's OpTic, they're actually playing really well, and complexity are able to execute. They're the backing cells up. They're able to get the entry frags in the trades and play the retake situation perfectly. That's what I want to see, right? Solid Counter-Strike. I'd rather win 3 rounds of solid Counter-Strike knowing that I can take it against one of the top teams than win 3 rounds because of the fact that, Alu is just sitting in the middle, absolutely nowhere, just trying to book every single one of us. And just consistently pushing in. Because that's what we saw earlier on this season when Alu just didn't give a care and he's just like, oh yeah, I'll just push Inferno in the middle of the open and I'll kill you because I can.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, so if he keeps doing that, you kill him. Is that really a win? Not really. But it's... If they're able to earn the respect of OpTic in this one, then...
Yes. Indeed, I do agree with you the fact that if my complexity prediction comes true, it won't be the fact that they'll necessarily win it out. It'll be more so that OpTic, it's up to OpTic to lose for complexity to have any kind of chance here.
Hey, quick question, Danny.
Oh, God. This will be good.
What does the HD for the Twitter stand for? Does it stand for
It stands for the fact that there are too many people out there with the name Danny Kim.
Okay.
Yeah.
But why not AC, like for Apple Crumble?
People don't get that call, mate.
It's all right.
Yeah,
Oh,
you just want to lolls at me. As there you go, Yace there opens up onto Mixwell and Magix gets the trade straight away. So it's a 4-on-4. It looks like they will be heading straight onto this outer bomb site there. Nothing too much to give away. Slemmy just separated from that line of smoke there as Freiburg actually takes the line on the train there. And a lot of action happening. Bomb actually gets dropped towards Connector, and now it's just down to Freiburg to try to clutch something out. 3-on-1. This will be a great start for the DK prediction here as Freiburg, we can't put anything past him. He still has 100 HP. Does manage to find Slemmy. Android and Def are super low. He's just going to toy the toy here, try to find something with the Glock, and they're also closing the gap here, which gives him every advantage. Now it's just down to Android with 5 HP, and he manages to clutch it out. Rip DK's dream, rip pistol round for complexity.
That was actually such a strange pistol round where they had 3 people just push towards CD connector with no one watching towards, you know, stop sign. But somehow Freiburg is able to make it work. And that's where it starts getting a little bit scary because you're up 1v3 and Freiburg with no body armor is able to take one-on-one deals. You meant to trade it out at that situation. You hate to see it, but OpTic do take the pistol round. I'd say off a little bit of brilliance from Freiburg and pushing in very quickly towards these positions. Alu's just going straight down. He doesn't care at this stage. And Yaster with a CZ. Very unlucky not to pick up one. And now there is a mass rotation. That grenade will do a lot of damage. And Magist is just going to spray them down. Android unable to connect with the scout so far in terms of the low HP members. There are tags across the board. Definitely really lucky, but the second round going very quickly in the favor of OpTic as these 2 scouts can't even be saved as AHS will just pounce at ESL.
Yeah, no, Def tries just to find something. He actually comes across the one player that had full HP there. So, I mean, real good opportunity for those scouts to do some real damage on those tag players. Unfortunately, OpTic a bit too sharp. Absolutely relentless thus far, I mean, especially into that gun round, just going straight down. Maybe they need to really be tested before we see any kind of execute really at this stage.
Still very, very early. I think that's where... Around 7-0 is probably when OpTic will start playing disrespectfully, if it gets to that point. It's up to Complexity's Orps to kind of hold this off. And Def, I don't envy this guy at this stage. He has to play B anchor most likely when there's... It's going to be either Magisk or Alu that's been working the position together. Not one of your favorite things that you want to see in this world is now Peter actually opens up with a kill helped out by Android, and Alu needs to be careful. He's given a free UMP away, but HS and Freiburg making things work out. Android very, very low now, and Magist coming ever so closer towards Slemmy. Cleaned up by SH, but that's really it.
Not the worst of rounds. They're doing a bit of damage there.
SH? What am I saying? HS.
Yeah, so yeah, a little bit of economic damage there, but nothing too much to worry the guys on OpTic. The guns will come out. We do see that AWP onto Peter, and now we'll see if Complex can really lock down these sites. Having said that, they must be reeling that they lost that 3-on-1 bomb drop situation against Freiburg, but I mean, it was Freiburg, much to his credit.
Alright, so Complexity don't have the most utility in this round. They did force up in the first one. Yaestar's going to strike very quickly on towards HS, who dropped down towards Pop. And that's good for Complexity. A good start. Only utilizing... They have to minimize their utilization of utility. But Alu just takes down Peter. And the AWP's already lost for Complexity. Would like to see Yaster probably pick it up. He was a secondary AWPer. Does like using it. And Alu just peeks straight into his waiting crosshairs. Good start from Ye so far.
Indeed, as Magist just makes his way down towards Ivy, just holding this position, just seeing if any sort of aggression is given just as the smoke does pop out. And you have to keep a keen eye to Mixwell here. If he kind of times anything from Pop Dog, he could be in a little bit of danger with Jason. He just kind of goes up and shows Peter how it's done, really finds that frag onto Freiburg. So now it's just down to Mixwell. He is on 1 HP. He's got a little bit of utility, but at this stage, bomb down, it's not going to be much to write home about.
Yeah, really solid round from Yaster. That's what you want to see. You have to be confident with the AWP and rifle to kind of take it towards these members on OpTic. You can't be scared. No, it's just, you know, oh, it's Alu, it's Freiburg, you know. You've got the aim to do it. Yaster has been one of those guys where it's like, yeah, he's got the potential to do it. Just go for it.
Yeah, this OpTic lineup is one of those kind of lineups where maybe players like the level of complexity do think, hey, yeah, that's Alu, that's Freiburg. I mean, all of them really. They might start playing a little bit differently, maybe a bit more conservatively, and that's not the way you got to go about it, right? You just got to kind of play a game, dumb it down. These guys are just any other player. They're beatable, like they do manage to get that one round, and just stick to your game plan as they do get that double AWP setup that you're speaking about.
Yeah, absolutely. And now OpTic, they have enough money to rebuy into this, and I'd say that now they've noticed that the double AWP is now being deployed for complexity, they need to go somewhere quickly or just use a wall of smoke. So that's kind of when OpTic just spread. They tried playing their default, didn't really work out. Need to just destroy complexity's economy at this stage. The important part is complexity did take 3 weapons into the next round, so they could potentially get a decent force up, but nope. Still same old. 3 Ivy this time, actually.
So we'll see if Peter can open up his AWP account here on THS. He's just going to hold off this brown horse position, see if there's an aggressive push coming from upper. The flash comes out, the timing just moments off, so very unfortunate for him as he does manage to make that cross, and Slemmy with that secondary AWP there. Interesting to see Slemmy trying to hold that Ivy position with it. Obviously, it can be utilized very, very powerfully. But yeah, we saw Ye do quite well, but obviously opting to stick to the game plan.
So deep Ivy smoke being used, and that's OpTic pressuring Slemmy out right now. At the very least, they do a pop dog control. Android just staying underneath it. So HS can't do anything unless he's got assistance from Alu. Ooh, Slemmy, if only could see what we saw, but these Ivy smokes coming out, it just does mean he's going to rotate through Old Bomb as opposed towards holding the Ivy position anymore. He's got Peter backing him up towards CD spawn. complexity is set up in a very nice position right now. Yeaster is actually going to open up into Alu once again. Yeaster doing so well. They line up for Slemmy. Slemmy's taken out 3 so far. That is great angles coming out from complexity. I really do like seeing that. They're giving them just themselves a little bit more of a chance. And OpTic now on the eco. After just 2 rounds of complexity, it's so crucial because they keep 4 guns alive. Beautiful stuff.
Slemmy obviously quite confident holding down that over position with that AWP, and also Yeaster is just kind of opening up with that, not necessarily aggression, nice collat coming through. I mean, we can't write too much home about it, but also does really well to pick up that second, which is actually his 3rd, due to that, man, it's just, collats are just so beautiful to watch, aren't they?
Absolutely, and look how respectfully that complexity are playing. They just go, oh, they're playing far, you know, they're most likely going to come towards the B site. Let's just play far back. They allow the bomb to be planted most likely. No, the bomb's actually been lost towards uppers, so can't even let the bomb plant go through is really well played by played by complexity until that particular point. Only losing potentially the AWP. Nope, they've picked up the AWP, but they lose one of the rifles instead. That doesn't really matter at this stage.
Yeah, it's nothing to be too worried about, as it'll be interesting to see. Yes, that has been sort of aggressive. He holds on 7P now, but not taking a single chance against this OpTic lineup here, opting for that M4. I'm getting some nice opening frags here. So obviously we see why he hasn't necessarily opted for that AWP to play into that odds at outer position towards team main, towards Pop Dog. And Slemmy right now, he definitely has proven himself. So everything seems to be working out right now for this complexity game plan they have in mind. Which is good to see, I guess. But
I mean, look at Def's position. He needs to be really, really cautious because as soon as he dies, he might lose this position. You can see he's just dancing around the smoke. Fragment's going to spot him out. And complexity, they do need to back out. Peter, though, is watching the line. Def gets 1, but he won't get any more. Peter misses the shot. Absolutely critical. Now HS strikes as well. It's down towards a 3-on-2 after HS picks off 2 on the A side. Finally, Slemmy gets a pick, but 2 AWPs in the retake. Not the most favorable situation to be in. And Peter just needs to slow this down right now. But Peter's just going in at the moment. He wants to be the hero. Gets another kill for himself. Misses the shot towards Magisk. Now down towards a 1-on-1. They know where Magisk is. He doesn't know where Slemmy is so far. We'll spot him out. We'll dance off the train. Slemmy's retrieving an AK-47 and will take the duel against Magisk. What a beautiful clutch coming out from Slemmy, which means that complexity for the first time in this game will be in the lead. And, oh, complexity definitely playing very, very well so far. Yeah,
absolutely. A little bit of ring around Rosie there, but Slemmy just clutching it out for his team. Nonetheless, Def there, that timing. The molly goes down well. Mixwell pushes it, takes him down, but I thought he could have just absolutely closed down that bottleneck. Unfortunately, goes down, but luckily, complexity do win the round. But as you said, you know, the money is okay as of now, but if they lose a couple more rounds with just 1 player up, this could come back to haunt them. Having said that, we do see that Galil over onto Alu, no AWP, unfortunately for him. So, you know, things are shaping up quite well for complexity, but once again, still very early days, and OpTic are definitely the kind of team. They're not just that one-trick pony. They've got so much in their bag of tricks that they could just throw it to the grinder, and complexity could eventually get caught with their pants down. But right now, everything seems to be working. Let's not disturb the juji of complexity here.
Or in complexity, once again, they're in the perfect position to kind of counteract this A-site take. So the wall of smokes do come across. There was very limited utility, so you're kind of expecting a faster push. But Peter's just caught out in the open. Not really the most appropriate move, considering he got 2 towards Ivy. Android at Heaven, only the 1-for-1 trade. But look at this flank. Slemmy's going to be the critical player once again. Def, oh, he's got to take down Alu with that situation. He finally does. HS pushing through the smoke, does punish him for his over-aggression. Now it's all down towards Slemmy on the lurk position. 1-on-3 situation as a risk of OpTic. Most likely will try to retrieve these weapons, and he doesn't check deep enough towards SL. He finds one, he finds nearly the second, tags Magist down very, very low, but can't get the kill. And OpTic finally do manage to strike back. compLexity money, not really in the best of positions. They could try to force with a couple of drops, so I'd say Slemmy would just drop a few pistols and they'll just call it, all right, let's just try to do as much damage as we can. Let's just keep ourselves respectful and in the game. They're in no rush to kind of assert their dominance at this stage, because I feel like that was really just down towards Peter playing a little bit aggressively beyond the wall of smokes. He had the players behind him. He just needed to come a little bit back and just wait for the T's really to come on towards the A-bomb site as opposed towards aggressing forward.
Absolutely, and very mature call there for the save. And obviously, this is something, I mean, no team thinks that they're not a match for anyone else, but they really do back themselves into this situation. So just really thinking they can take it to OpTic and just playing the, you know, the fortitude there to just buy up, take the second round, and just keep it toe-to-toe with them, which at this stage, 4-4 is a good scoreline, but this could blow out at a moment. We did see some sharp shooting coming down from the guys on OpTic in the previous round, but here we see Android just holding this E-box. We know what it can do with this Deagle, but he might get caught out here. Nice little crossfire. He's kind of set up, but the peek and trade doesn't come in, obviously, knowing that he's going to go for that gun. And might get spotted out here, but nothing is happening. So he retrieves an AK there. 4-on-4 situation. Flash does come out of main, but it doesn't look like anyone will be pushing that position, as now he's just down to that AK. So this stage, OpTic still firmly favored to win this round out, as they're just taking it very cautiously, not trying to give away any other frags to these pistols.
I want to see where Magist is going. He's taken Ivy control by himself, and if he wraps around towards CT spawn, could cause some trouble, and Def is on the peak right now, but can't find the headshot. Does a little bit of damage. Slemmy just going to be waiting on the bomb site as Magist decides to also push at the same time. And Slemmy is able to find the correct timing. We'll be able to drop the bomb carrier, going for HS, but there's two members there, so he was the dead man for certain. Peter now on the flank, can't even take down Alu at the end of the day. So OpTic once again back in the lead, 5-4, but... Oh, hello, bird.
Is that what you do when you walk down the park and you see a pigeon, you just stop and you're like, hello, bird? Do they say anything back?
But you normally don't expect a bird to be there, so it's just... Like, sometimes if I see a bird just doing something completely silly, I'll just stand there and just go, what is going on? And then continue my walk, because it's just so bamboozling towards me sometimes.
Yeah, birds are very majestic creatures.
Oh, there's an entire story about that, but I'll complete it after this round as compLexity will be back up on the double AWP by Slemmy with the AWP. He's been doing well so far, so I see no reason for him to. And Android, compLexity are really not giving themselves any advantages because they're just caught completely off guard and now just going to go straight down towards the B bomb site. Molly, not really effective. HS trying to lurk around A. He's going to be taken down eventually, so down towards the 3-on-3, but already enough damage being done. And the Molotov just flying straight forward. You can't get in. compLexity, you just got to save. Look at that. Just Molotov after Molotov after Molotov.
Absolutely. So, I mean, smoke itself out. Mixwell maybe a little bit keen here to try to go for the chase, but at this stage, they're not too sure that the save has been called, which it definitely has been. Those Molotovs just raining supreme down towards that Z connector. And it looks like they'll just be holding towards Ivy here. Looks like,
standard.
Yeah, they won't be able to get any of these guns out of these CT's hands, which is, you know, all important as they do hold on to that AK and that double AWP. But, you know, just caught out once again, that aggression really paying off, but OpTic just have cottoned on, you know, that flash out from HS, just really finding Android off guard there to open up the round and then just raining onto that B bomb site. So, now we have to ask the question, does compLexity have anything else? Do they have any more tricks that might hold off this OpTic attack?
Just stop playing aggressive. It's really at the stage where OpTic find one over-aggressive compLexity player and make and just punish compLexity completely for it. And once again, Android playing aggressive. Can't really fault him for that though. UMP towards Pop Dog position is pretty good. Yeastar's going to peek out, finds another one, doesn't realize that Mixwell's in there, finds that Mixwell's jumped out. That is much better. You know, controlled aggression, you get one peek, there's a trade comes forward, you don't just try to play aggressive and just lose members willy-nilly. I was going to take some damage from an HE grenade. Did he just miss the flashbang? And Slemmy pushing through the smoke. You can't do that.
Yeah, I thought he had just the timing. They gave him a slight opportunity against Freiburg, but I mean, once again, the aggression. They obviously have this in mind to try to shut down OpTic before they get started, but once again, Freiburg finding a pretty standard kill there onto Peter, and now Yace is just going to push Alu and Def Does the same onto Freiburg. So they've dumped it down to a 2-on-2 situation, and Yaster has recovered that AWP, which you know he can work with. He has been good with the rifle today, but we'll see if he can kind of lock this down as they do go to that favoured B bomb site. Def is in a nice position here. He might catch out Mixwell if he does.
Yeah, Mixwell just needs to keep going out. I don't think he can plant right at this stage. Oh, no. He's going to complete the plant, and he's going to die. They don't know where the last member is. Okay, now they do know. Def, he doesn't have a kit. He can't jump onto it. It's good molly from Magisk as well, just to deny the bomb defusal. Actually, it doesn't deny it at all.
Oh,
Def is just going to go for the deal. That's pretty much a one situation. As soon as Mixwell fell, you know, Magisk, there's too many angles for him to cover. He has to kind of sprint towards the bomb. Doesn't know if Def has a kit or not.
Def manages to win out the round there, so a nice little bring back. It looked like the frags were going and the trades in favor of OpTic, but compLexity managed to bring it back to a 5-6 scoreline. But once again, that economy, we do see the scout onto Peter, AK on to Def, which he did recover from that last round. So the money is going to be lacking. Utility onto Slemmy might be a little bit scarce as well, and a CZ over on HS. But look at this from OpTic.
Maybe a fast B finally, because they haven't really tested the B site. They should realize that it's only Def that plays this position. Oh, he'll hear this at the moment, but the nade won't do that much damage except to Freiburg. Good Molotov just to stall this a little bit longer. Android's going to come out. There's the smoke grenade, but just on point. And there you have it. Oh, Def finds one. Def, he finds two before he gets traded out. Oh, Mixwell, he just unscopes just as Peter comes across. Bomb was lost in the open, but Peter...
Freiburg actually manages to see a sneaky CT there, but doesn't have his gun out. Does the nice nade rains through, so now it's just down to Mixwell holding on to that AWP. You know, he's proficient with it, but he's not ideal weapon trying to clutch out a 3-on-1 situation, but he does have a molly, so if he can tie this out, but the smoke will go down, rendering the molly useless. So there you go. It's a full 10-second defuse there. Molly rain out through that bounce. Doesn't do anything, and this looks like it's a nice little play from the guys in compLexity right now. Mixwell just saving that AWP, and they get another cheeky round. I mean, you'd like to think they're scraping through, but right now, these retakes, these clutch situations are all leaning to the favor of this, I was going to say North American lineup, but I guess technically they're both North American, to compLexity.
Really, the only, like, the rounds where compLexity haven't been able to take were when they had one person up too aggressively. The rounds that they have been able to take, and look at this on the map so far. Def is able to stay alive and get two, and all the members at the stage is rotated across. They've got the numbers advantage. They're doing themselves massive favors by going at least 1-for-1 to make sure these positions are defended, and they're just doing even better now, because Yaster so far has taken pop top every single time, and Freiburg will be able to catch him up finally. Android comes in a little bit late. But that's what you want to see from, I guess, compLexity, is that just aggression where you can just get one member every single time before you fall out.
Yester's been doing a great job there. Sees the flash, actually manages to stand his ground, backing himself, obviously. Slemmy actually has Arlu backed into a corner there and manages to get the frag. Another flash coming down the Deagle once again, so that could be costly frags from PopDog there, as Slemmy actually manages to find two. He's having a great game there, finding the third on two, just coming out of PopDog. So Slemmy just really leading the way for the guys on compLexity here.
That was actually beautiful. I just want to see that on replay again. That was actually so crisp.
Just
a lot of people look at it and go, "Oh, that's easy." But
of course, they're the guys that talk like that as well.
There was literally zero wasted movement in that aim. That was perfect aim.
Yeah.
Jeez. It's not often, because normally you see over calibration. That's actually the first time in a long time that you just see just that perfect, crisp crosshair transfer.
So
I'm happy, man.
Yeah, and I can tell that. I think you're getting a bit aroused as well. But we see Peter there with the aggression at Ivy. He could have gotten caught off there, but does manage to fall off on that smoke. And we'll just hold the line. Finds a nice one onto Freiburg there. So Freiburg's not going to be too happy about that, as we just will re-smoke the line. And things have just slowed down here for the guys on OpTic.
Yeah, this is also compLexity now stepping up as well. All of them individually are performing quite well. Granted, it is the CT side, but they're doing themselves great favors by making sure they try to convert this into a 9-6 half. It gives them more opportunities on the T side, as I believe this was OpTic's map pick. Don't see why compLexity picks train and then OpTic decides to start on the T side. But Android just stuck in the middle of the open, mix well. Finally, we're seeing some life in him. He's had a very quiet game so far. We definitely need more from him. But he won't be able to find Yaster, as now the two AWPs are going to strike down towards a 2-on-2 after HS gets to trade. And HS, he's done so well in the open train yard so far, and now all down towards Peter on this 1-on-2. Doesn't know where to really relocate. There's just too many lines for him to check. You see, he has to be really cautious by bringing out the P250 at the moment.
Just going to make his way through that connector there and see if he can get an early frag. The bomb has been dropped, so there's 19 seconds left, not enough time to rotate through unless they go exactly the way he's going. He's going to hit that bomb plant, so he's going to try to find that second player, but unfortunately gets taken down by Magist. So 7-7. Unfortunate there was a moment where I thought that complexity were able to bring it back, but OpTic, Mixwell just getting those massive entries onto that outer side.
And if OpTic do go 8-7 up, this is a force. They do manage to still get 2 AWPs through smoke.
Nice shot from Peter there onto Freiburg. And yes, you were right in saying that this is, in this kind of weird dynamic way the maps are picked, technically the selection of OpTic. So, you know, 8-7 on that T side, I'm sure they will be able to bring it back and sort of readjust and shut down anything that complexity have to offer. But having said that, you know, I back this ability a game. Having said that, you know, you weren't so confident.
In terms of complexity. Yeah, this has been a surprise. Complexity definitely stepped it up on an individual level where Slemmy was leading the charge. It's also important to note OpTic did win the pistol round. So if you exclude the pistol and the 2 anti-ecos taken afterwards, it's not Australia, so normally in NA, haven't seen too many dropped ecos. It has actually been a lot of gun rounds won by complexity. And that has to be given, like, you know, you have to give props to that. To win gun rounds consecutively against a team like OpTic is not an easy feat. Even when your players are peaking, it's not easy. Because HS has been playing well, so has Freiburg. Magist, you know, has had decent performances, and now Magist actually making his way down Ivy. Does a little bit of damage and still keeps complexity 2 members anchored towards the Ivy position while the rest of OpTic now rotate out of Pop Dog. Peter's still got control though, and Peter, oh, he missed the first shot. Def has actually lost the AWP, so the AWP is in the middle of no man's land. Here come the Molotovs. Complexity have to back out, and OpTic should be able to take the final round.
Yeah, so it's looking pretty dumb down there. One of the orbs already lost, and Peter just absolutely nullified by the use of those mollies here. If Slemmy can find a frag onto Magist, which actually does get that dink, but unfortunately, rip the P250 of Days of Old. Peter's just trying to find something through here, but it looks like OpTic will be taking this round 8-7. So, half eventually gets won by OpTic, and they will go into the CT side. So this is where we might potentially see the collapse of complexity, but we'll see what those NA kids can bring us.
If they can just go in together, get the entry kills, and work together in tandem, anything is possible. They can definitely make it to double digits. But is a victory possible or not? I still can't really tell. I still believe OpTic have the class to clutch it out, but complexity have done very, very well so far. So it's at this stage, I wouldn't be surprised if they do actually manage to eke out a victory.
Yeah, absolutely. But having said that, gosh, I mean, we would love to see what that story would have been like if Freiburg didn't clutch out that initial pistol. There might be more of a margin, but there's another pistol, and they kind of have to win it, I think.
Absolutely. Well, let's find out how complexity will do on the T side after the break. Well, everyone, welcome back. It is halftime for the EPL matchday number 6 between complexity as well as OpTic. And complexity, definitely a great first half. I mean, OpTic still have the lead, and this is not me saying as a biased way. 8 rounds on the T side is definitely winning the half, but complexity have done themselves a great favor by at least winning the majority of the pistol rounds on their own CT side, which is very difficult to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a lot of that came from like Yacer just and the aggression coming forward, maybe catching OpTic a little bit off guard, changing up the pace every now and then, and that double op setup did reign supreme on a couple of those gun rounds. Having said that, I mean, can they be dynamic enough on that T side? We'll have to see, right? Slemmy, it is going to come down to a lot of what he can call.
Yeah, Slemmy definitely played very, very well on the CT side. I think he was on either 16 or 17 kills towards the end, which is not normally the performance you expect from the IGL of the team. You'd say, all right, Yaystar definitely did very well. Android had moments of brilliance. Depth as well was able to compose himself and hold the B site. But at the end of the day, it felt like the weak point was definitely Peter. He had only a few rounds where he got AWP kills, and it felt more to me that Slemmy was the primary AWP as opposed towards Peter, where Slemmy was able to use it more effectively. But that's also potentially because Peter can draw more threat with the AWP because he has to rotate around more. So
yeah, absolutely. And there was a couple of moments where he was caught out into no man's land, maybe just trying to do something, get the early pick there. But you know, we'll see if we can open something up onto this T side. We do head into that pistol round. Armor on 3 of the complexity players and utilities on Slemmy and Def. And we see that kit and smoke onto Freiburg there. So pretty standard setup from the guys here. Def, bomb carrier, and it looks like they will be heading towards the brown hole position. Mixwell just utilizing the range of that USP, along with Magist, just holding off these bottlenecks and seeing if they can shut it down before it can get started.
Alright, so Slemmy is going to throw one of his smoke grenades early, and that might decoy them more towards the A-bomb site, because that's probably going to fall towards CD Connector or the A-bomb site. But now the smoke towards CD Connector pops out, but Mixwell, he's already gotten 2 headshots by the time Magisk falls. So, compLexity do have control of the B-bomb site, but the retake will begin in earnest shortly. And you see HS looking to get very aggressive, just jump straight down. They know where Peter is. Mixwell's also pushing up from Oil Train. Peter will be able to find Freiburg, but Mixwell finds 3 now. He's done very well so far before he's finally shut out by Android and down towards a 2-on-2. Android, he's finally stepping up right now, and HS has to find the narrowest window, and he will be able to find it towards Slemmy. Now down towards a 1-on-1, but Android just too good with the Glock, able to clutch it out. 3 kills for him, and compLexity takes the second pistol round, and definitely a good start on the T side.
Yeah, HS just triggering ever so close to the edge of that smoke there. I thought Slemmy had to jump on him by seeing his feet, but HS a bit too sharp with that USP and body armor. I thought we were going to see another 2-on-1 clutch there. It would have been absolutely heartbreaking for the guys on compLexity, but they do manage to get it out. Android just carrying it through. He does pick up the AK for his troubles and the Galil onto Yacer, and a couple of UMPs obviously trying to bank up that cash, as we do see HS utilizing that scout, so we'll see if we can inflict some damage on as Magisk is holding towards this low ramp area. P250 in hand.
Okay, so how they're staging their money at the moment looks like that OpTic are going to go very early for a double AWP setup, or Mixwell's decided to prioritize utility. You don't normally expect a mix buy with 2 USBs. USB on Alu, understandable. He wants your first buy round, but the USB on Mixwell might indicate a very, very early second AWP for OpTic.
Absolutely. I mean, he did get that 3K inside that last round, so he probably would be the richest on that team. So we'll see what happens. I mean, not unjustifiable on Train here, but it's a very heavy investment that could cost them a couple of consecutive rounds if they can't really hold on to those double AWPs. Nonetheless, second round here of the second half. It's 8 all complexity, really putting a fight to these guys, managing to salvage a pistol, which means it's a pistol apiece in this map. And now the bomb just making its way towards PopDog here. Arlu in a nice little position, but the firepower obviously more supreme over on as Android gets that opening frag. Slemmy will actually get taken down by Magist as the fight happens at top. Arlu will get taken down, and Yacer has spotted Mixwell after he's the last player towards heaven and will take him down. So there you have it, 8 and 9. Managing to keep the 3, they do recover that AK and the Galil. So decent round coming out from compLexity there.
Very, very good round there. They drop 2 guns. They don't lose one of the assault rifles, which is the AK. Able to get a few kills in the SMG, just rolling it together. I really love how they just execute with the Molotovs and smoke grenades and coming together. That's what you want to see, you know, teamwork. That's how they're winning the rounds. They're coming in together. They're trading each other efficiently out. Now we're just going to see just a fast inners push, not really a crunch. And Yaystar should be able to hear this. There's just a lineup at the moment. Slemmy and Yaystar, they just make it look too easy. And Yaystar, he wants the final kill. Why not? Might as well get all the stats while you can. And compLexity, they hit double digits. And in a very convincing manner as well. And all of a sudden, it becomes a very, very much a live game for compLexity. If they're able to take this round, well, OpTic will be reset. compLexity up 11-8. And who knows what happened from there. But the double AWP does come out, which is what I suspected when Mixwell did go for the USB only.
Yeah, excellent call there coming out from Kevin. To go for that double AWP, obviously going for that slight bonus round there. We do see still the 2 UMPs. Magist will molly off that ramp area, and now it's a nice little opportunity here. Kind of not necessarily a free round, no rounds are free here in this game, but to really feel out the setup, they're going to kind of get a read into this double AWP and see what they can do. And if they manage to sneak away with this round, they really put OpTic to the corner there, and they're going to have to dig their way out of a little bit of a hole. But obviously OpTic, the kind of team that you never want to counter in this situation. They can always bring it back, but that economy might really be a roadblock for compLexity to run away with it.
Yeah, compLexity is doing really well here at the moment. They showed early B-site presence. They're forcing the rotation towards B, and you can see that HS is a little bit unsettled. He's rotating back and forth, and now that Mixwell's deployed, you can't really regain control of inners. They don't have enough utility to really like flash and try to push for information. Android, what is he going to do with his utility? Because this is going to be crucial. Okay, so fake utility have been thrown potentially towards the A site. And they're just trying to unsettle OpTic at the moment. And now Magisk, he has a very, very big surprise waiting for him if he peeks into this. But, oh, 1-for-1 trade. That's a great situation for him.
But it does cue the rotate here. Bomb still hasn't committed too much as Mixwell does find Yaster there, and Def finds a nice frag onto him as HS actually does take down Slemmy. So 3-on-2 situation, Peter only with that UMP in hand, as he will make his way out with the flash, and now it's just down to Def. So it has all collapsed there. They had the mind games going, they had everything going for them, but at the end of the day, the aim of OpTic just shutting this down before it can have any opportunity to kind of get started. HS actually takes Def down from behind. So there you go, nice little lockout there. They do recover that second orb, which is the all-important factor, but once again, the economy is a bit lacking there on towards OpTic, so they need to string together a couple of these rounds and manage to hold on to these guns as we see the buyout coming from compLexity there. This will be the real indicator of how the rest of this map may potentially play out.
It's just a very staggered B-site take where even though they got the first trade, there weren't really enough members of Smokes to kind of allow safe entry in, and OpTic just held onto the incendiary grenades for the right time. It worked out perfectly. OpTic shows exactly, it is kind of gambling sometimes where you have to hold on to your utility for a very long time, but Magisk is going to blow his utility very early on this time just to retain control of inners to allow the stack to happen towards the A site this time. And now they're coming out the A site. Mixwell will spot somewhere through the edge of the smoke as Def manages to find the entry frag. Freiberg needs to be cautious, and Alu is going to open it up. Alu and Freiberg holding this line down. Mixwell will assist him at the edge of the A bomb site, and now it has gone terribly wrong for compLexity after the opening pick. Android is going to slowly walk around, finds one. He will be able to spot out the second, but won't be able to turn around in time. Does well, but he's dinked down, and his teammate in Slemmy has fallen. He's going to rotate straight towards the B bomb site, but Freiberg's one step ahead. He's going to go through PopDog instead, and so still a very open situation as Android. He has to isolate it towards 2 1-on-1s, has a better chance against Alu. But they should know he's dinked down. What weapon does Alu have? Well, Freiberg just comes from behind, just executes him, so I guess it doesn't matter at this stage.
Yeah, so they do cover the orb. Freiberg might stave off onto this bomb plat, try to recover that second one, which I believe they will be able to do, knowing where they went down. So there you go, 2 orbs held onto, but still losing those 3 players, not going to help their economy too much, but they do manage to get the round to make it an equal game, 10-all. And yeah, compLexity just kind of looking right, baiting the players to the right sites there, but just looks like the mid-round calling is just kind of not happening. Looks like it's collapsing down on the sites, and obviously that kind of raw aim potential of the guys on OpTic is just shunning it down. We saw some great stuff from Android, but you know, these one-outs aren't going to cut it against a team like OpTic. So are we starting to see the kind of worrying signs of compLexity where they just get a little bit lost once they hit that side and hit the execute, or still a little bit of promise there?
It's still a little bit of promise. I'd say another flashbang, another smoke grenade would have meant the difference, but you can't really just peek like that on a force buy and give up an easy orb kill, because that just means they've got a numbers advantage. They can float another member over, and Alu decides to push uppers, gets a very easy peek, and Magisk will help him out by pushing inners at the same time. So compLexity now just completely staggered back. Just consecutive punches coming out from OpTic, meaning that they have complete map control right now. They can just sit back and just chill. And that's probably what we're going to do for the next minute as well as compLexity. Just try to find any opening they can.
Let me just watching towards T-spawn there, as we do just see the kind of standard defense setting up. Maybe OpTic trying to stave off any opportunity for a bomb plan, as it is the kind of default 3-2 setup. No one's going hunting. We do know how fragile this economy is, but if they do stave off and no more frags are dropped for this round, this is a great round for OpTic to really kind of build that foundation to carry this round through. And right now they look favored to sort of run out with this. Peter just giving away his life a bit cheaply there, though.
To be fair, it was a good shot from Mixball, but at the same time, you don't really want to willingly peek that angle without committing, because you'd suspect that probably
he had a nade out, didn't he?
Yeah, he was throwing a grenade out. He was trying to throw it deep, I think, to kind of signify he was going somewhere else. Oh, Slemmy! What an opening coming out from Slemmy. Round's a little bit more alive all of a sudden. They do have to rotate across. Flashbang blinds Slemmy more than it does Freiberg and HS. Well, now Slemmy's by himself, but he's doing a lot of damage. So this is actually really good trading. He's able to potentially deny one of these AWPs from being... No, I guess the AWP is not going to be denied, but he does manage to take 2 rifles out. So even though compLexity are going to go on the eco right now, it does mean that OpTic their economy is not really in the best of shape because every single time compLexity is taking one gun, taking two gun, I believe a tactical pause has now come out for compLexity. They need to discuss where they're going, what's going wrong. They're just going to go together. And just a couple of smokes just to nullify this double AWP setup. This double AWP setup has not been stopped by compLexity so far.
Indeed.
It's really how potent it is.
Yeah, it has been working out, but really, I mean, they do get the one opening frags or so, but it has been the players just kind of locking down these bomb sites post those executing smokes coming out. Having said that, this is a crucial round here. Obviously, the save will be coming out from compLexity. They will be buying next round. And depending on how many players they take out, they could find themselves in a situation to take 12-12. So obviously, very important words being said by the team. This is exciting stuff. This could be the moment, though, where we see OpTic either run away and just kind of fragilely go to that 16-10, 16-11 scoreline, or OpTic grind out of what will be a very surprising upset.
OpTic grinding out a very surprising upset.
Did I say what I said? I meant compLexity.
Yeah, that's better. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Anything, quote unquote, anything's possible in the realm of Counter-Strike. Copyright Danny Kim, HD 2017.
Anything is possible, man.
Yeah, I think it is a little
That's
bit
why
beyond
you gotta
the
love
realms
this
of
game.
I think it's a little bit beyond at this stage. And Magisk just going to be edge spotting towards inners. He's got a grenade in hand, just making sure that there's not going to be anything happening. There it is. Perfectly timed incendiary grenade. He knows what's up. He's going to go towards uppers. Just peek it, bro.
just
peek it. Just peek it. Just
Yeaster with the deagle. Unfortunately, he's not facing in the right direction there.
Peek it again.
We could have seen some magic, but there you go. Android just punishing him. Punish him. That's right. You can get one. You fall back. You don't peek it again. You get demolished by that deagle. So it's 4-on-4. Android does manage to pick up that M4. Utilities are very lacking, obviously, on the side of compLexity as they go for the buy. But having said that, we spoke about the economy of OpTic. If they can do some damage here, this will really set them up for that opportunity to kind of win that next round. Really put them on that double eco, hard save, and make it an equal game, but we'll see what happens. Still early days. There's every chance they can get it, but Freiburg here just pushing down Ivy. Peter needs to get the spot. He hasn't. I thought there might have been a pick there. He's probably playing back bars. He needs to get Freiburg here, but the info is out, so Freiburg not being able to do too much damage. He has turned that corner. He's so low. This could be a very important kill here, but he just mollies himself out and waits for his team to do the rest, as it is down to a 3-on-4 there, as HS actually takes down Slemmy. Now it's just down to Peter. This is just a consolation kill now. I thought this could have turned the tide, but he knows exactly where Freiburg is. He's going to have to pick his advantage, but Freiburg has that 5-power advantage. Does get the headshot in the end there, just for a little bit of an ego boost. So manages to save the M4. If you can get one more kill here, if you can take away one of these orbs and make it unrecoverable, this could be a very good round for compLexity.
Yeah, I think he suspected where Alu was. Alu actually misses the shot. It's Mixwell who lands the shot at the end of the day. But OpTic have to rebuy into this round. You can see Freiburg probably has to be dropped. He's got a full belt of utility, so there's Alu. Oh, Alu, that's bot Alu for certain. 4 kills. I'm not sure if he actually rejoined, but I don't think that's 4 kills. That's rough. Definitely bot Alu today.
It's a team game, my friend. If they win, it's a team effort.
He needs to chug a few more energy drinks, I think. He'll feel a little bit better afterwards. We might see God Alu the next one, but so far, compLexity. Imagine that, right? Alu's got 4 kills this entire half. And what is that angle from Freiburg?
Yeah, you know, it's sneaky. But oh, what an Android just absolutely cooks him. Freiburg gets fried there. I thought it was going to be in a great position to take him down, but Android, I mean, we hear what this kid can do, and there you have it.
Well, to be fair, Freiburg was one of the... Never seen that angle before. I can understand the philosophy behind it, where they're going to try and cross. They're going to throw a smoke grenade and whatnot. But Android just lands, just takes him out. Oh, that's unfortunate. Depth now coming across. HS wants to get aggressive. He wants to get control of here. Maybe a flashbang pop forward. Nope. Okay. He's being touched by his own friendly Molotov. Look how aggressive OpTic are playing towards this A-bomb site. Where are those shells coming from? Was that just me? Did you see shells just flying out of the sky?
I think that was the spray coming through the wall, so like the chips off the wall coming through, maybe?
I don't know. It just felt like something was falling out of the skies. But
are you talking about in the game or in the game, real life? Okay,
in the game.
Okay, that's fine.
In real life, I'm saying something, just ignore it.
Well, I don't want you like having a stroke next to me, but it looks like he'll be executed onto that B-bomb site. Nade raining through might do a little bit of damage. Does take a couple of players down now. It's down to Magisk to try to lock it down. Does find one onto Yeaster. Now fires the corner onto Def, but Def does manage to get the trade, so it's a 4-on-3 situation. Poised to kind of get it through. HS just spamming through there. Doesn't realize the player has turned him, so this might be a little bit of dancing, but he's so low, the spray will eventually catch him, which it does by Def. So now it's down to the 2 AWPers, and at this stage, if they don't find a frag very soon, it might just be a call to save here, as we do see Alu just raining out back and Mixwell just backing it up like a truck.
Yeah, Mixwell's in great danger at the moment, but if there's any person that can navigate out of here, it is going to be Mixwell. They're actually not going to chase for it, which isn't a bad decision because it means that complexity, if they do lose this round, they combine to the next one. You lose 2 rifles here. It's really going to damage your chances the next few rounds, but complexity do manage to finally break the defensive OpTic on the back of the Ivy pick before shifting their focus towards B site. Magisk, that's the difference. If you don't go 1 for 1 on the B bomb site, or 2 for 1 at that position, should I argue, it does spell a little bit of trouble. And now look at OpTic. They can't really even... They have to force up into this. They can't even afford 3 M4s. And that pause might be called from OpTic, as a matter of fact, to decide what they want to do in this round.
It's a very pressure situation.
Definitely not what I was expecting when coming to this match. I wasn't expecting it to be this close. Maybe you are right all along, Danny Kim.
Mate, you got to dream. If you're back when I was playing 1.6 and you're a scrub kid, you had to dream. Obviously, those dreams didn't come true. But hey, at least I'm talking about Pro CS, huh? You got to dream.
I don't know.
I'm trying to feel the pause.
I don't even know at what stage it was just like, hey, what? Like, because everyone would just go, when did you decide to start commentating CS? And I was just like, that was probably when I dropped out of med.
Oh, yeah, let's just talk about how I studied medicine. So I studied medicine and I dropped out to pursue CS because I'm just so smart and talented. I just decided to go with the talent side. But, my intelligence is always there, so I can go back and become a doctor if I want. So, let's just humble brag onto the stream here.
I'm not going back towards doing medicine. No, that is not for me.
The tag pause ends, and these 2 orbs could come in as they actually do manage to get a pretty decent buy strung together, actually. So the money is obviously not in as dire straits as first thought, but once again, if they do lose this round, lose all players, that might be all sure at complexity might get the edge there with that double eco coming through. But this important round, usually the determining factor of how this will play out, barring some crazy eco round coming out from either team. Freeberg just playing a bit more passively now, learnt his lesson there. Don't mess with Android towards Ivy. And just seeing if we can lock it down as we do to that bomb. Heading up towards that B side, but still plenty of time left to round. Plenty of time left in this round.
This could potentially be a split one towards B. You notice that complexity of 2 members towards Ivy, so I'd expect a smoke grenade to go towards the right side, and then they try to infiltrate through to left and CT spawn. The only danger they have to navigate after the smoke is probably just old bomb, and then they have full control B side. But there's no smoke coming out at the moment. Freiberg's watching the line, not sure what's going on. Yaster's got the smoke, but he hasn't used it, so it doesn't matter how much posturing they do towards Ivy. Oh, actually, Peter gets the opening pick, so it does actually help a little bit, because now the members do fall off of Magisk. There's a lot of work to do. He is a little bit isolated right now, and Slemmy's going to come out once again. It's going to be Slemmy getting the entry in the B bomb site. After Peter did the good work with the AWP, and there you have it. Finally, they're able to rotate 1 through T spawn, 1 through CT spawn, and I'm not sure if HS is suspecting it because you can see he's already down towards upper. Okay, he's going to take down Peter, which means upper ramp is open for the CTs to take. Now Slemmy is a world of hurt. HS does finally get taken out, and Mixwell will fall as well. Now Freiberg will take down, and he's the only man left standing, and Yaster from behind, 12-all, OpTic on the eco. Whew, what a turnaround for complexity so far, winning 2 rounds.
Yeah,
now finally resetting. They've done the damage, they did the good work, took the tactical pause, and now they are in actual really good shape to take this out. Maybe, DK, you are right, it will be a 16-14 dream for complexity.
It is still early days, though, and you got to think, I mean, if it was on the flip side of the coin, then you saw OpTic or another team on that match point, but I mean, OpTic, these guys are so experienced. I don't think they get as phased facing that sort of white line fever. Playing against 15, overtime is kind of like their arch. So let's see what will happen here, as it is just a bit of a hard eco coming out from the guys onto OpTic. If they can find anything, recover a gun, but at this stage, complexity, Slemmy, he's going to be too wise to this as a push does come towards team main. Let's see if anything can happen here.
Yeah, this is where it starts heating up, and Android will turn around just at the right time to catch this anti-eco out, but the USP push will mean that they will fall. Peter actually gets 2 with that. He's going to fall back, and Slemmy is just going to make sure he's safe. But they're just going to go, oh, Mixwell, that's your buddy, mate. That's not an enemy.
That's all right, it's the eco round.
Yeah,
just maybe like a refresher, kicking the head. Hey, mate, we've got to win this game here. We are favorites. Betway gave us like 125 or something, and Betway is never wrong.
They've been wrong once. Team Liquid versus Ghost Gaming.
Oh, yeah, what was up with that?
Never forget when Ghost Gaming, when B comes in, just drops a nearly drops a 30. You know, aces the pistol, defeats Team Liquid, just a coach, guys. Back to the uni/coach life, and then they just go 16-3, 16-2 or something next week, and it's just like, oh, okay, so OpTic are going to force into this, and big gamble. But if they're able to make this turn out right, compLexity, scores will be drawn again. compLexity with the force buy. I think compLexity do have enough money to buy up, but they are angling towards the B side. Slemmy will fall on the back of the Ivy push. They'll notice that no one is towards Ivy, so they're going to stack more members across it. Magisk dancing with fire at the moment. There you have it. There's the gunfire. There's the flashbangs popping out. Magisk has so much work to do. Finds one, but can't find the second. Now Mixwell, he also goes 1 for 1 apiece. And Alu, he needs to step up at the moment, and he does step up. Finds 2, and OpTic. That is a really good round. They only drop 2 rifles. They retrieve an AWP, which means they can still drop for their fellow comrades. And compLexity, that is such a tough call to make. They can drop AKs across the board potentially. Android does have to be dropped an AK, but I don't know if they'll pick up an AWP on the back of this. I don't think they will. No, they have picking up one on Peter.
So yeah, they're given every opportunity here. Both teams with everything they could want for a more 13 rounds apiece. It looks like the game will be falling in the direction of whoever can carry out this round wins. So we'll see if compLexity can bring it home after what is such a great showing. Like you said, you know, it was put on the fact that if OpTic do kind of throw, compLexity can't take too much away, but compLexity, I think, already at this stage can take a lot away from this game.
I don't even think OpTic threw in this game. This is like, if OpTic threw, yeah, okay, I could, like, compLexity 13 all, much of a muchness, but compLexity have earned these 13 rounds. They have played well together as a unit. And as someone was hyping up OpTic earlier, or it's just saying, you know, the odds are in the favor of OpTic, etc., compLexity have played so well, and just to ignore that would be just absolutely disrespectful of the gameplay. They've come in together with a strategy. Sure, it's even a little bit rough in certain rounds, but there is strategy. They're executing well together. They're playing like a team, and that's what I love seeing.
Indeed is the case, but it still will be so much more glorious if they can carry out the map win, nonetheless, as the molly does rain out from Slemmy. Nullified completely by that smoke. Maybe an indicator that no one is down. The Def has made his way down, flash raining through. If it doesn't give his position away here, just manages to hold his nerve. He could be in a nice little position. HS fairly keen onto it as the push does come out to A-bomb site. HS needs to do something towards the E-box position. 2 of them line up for him. The trade needs to come out there, but unfortunately, nothing is working. Looks like OpTic might be able to get it through as Slemmy manages to take out the headache that is HS. Freiberg taking him down as well, so now it's down to 2-1. Peter, with that AWP, he's in a very difficult position right now, and there you have it. HS just shutting it down. Yeah,
just needs to save, maybe take out any potential over-aggression, but OpTic at the stage, not going to over-aggress. There's no need to. You just know that compLexity are going to take 1 AWP forward, maybe 4 pistols. Their economy is completely broke. You save enough money in this round, it means that if compLexity do manage to take a surprising anti-eco victory against you, they will be able to buy up once again. You see there was no chase, retrieving a few AK-47s, and this is where it really just went down to the wire. But OpTic should be able to clean up from here. Should, but who knows?
That should is shrouded in so much doubt. But the Slemmy, man, he's been on point today. He's been doming some players, which is absolutely fantastic to see, leading the way for his team.
I think overall for compLexity, they've performed well across the board. No single member on both the CT side and T side have really let the T down. Maybe occasional rounds, but overall they played exceptionally well considering the caliber of their opponent. And this is definitely a score they should be proud of. And now Alu looking to get aggressive. They're just going to run boost Android over once again. That's the standard operating procedure for Ivy. And there is a 4 stack for OpTic towards this A-bomb site. There's a smoke grenade. There's the mollies as well. What are they going to do here? Are they going to wrap around? And you can see that the Molotov is going to be fading away. Freiberg dry peeking forward, finds 3, decides, oh, I'm backing out. Good flash. He's going to re-engage potentially. He will find 1, spraying down. Won't be able to do any more damage. They're trying to back out, but the members are rotated across the area to shut down this Ivy position. This Ivy take has been completely ineffective. Magisk has managed to make his way all the way around. He's pushed uppers. They think the B side's clean. They suspect now that it's actually behind him. Smoke comes across. Bomb plant goes through. At least compLexity will have a little bit more cash to work with in the next round, but you don't see them taking the 2-on-5. Completely surrounded from all sides. Mixwell now pushing forward. Peter has got a lot of work to do. They both find 1 apiece. Down towards a 2-on-3. Positions reset. Slemmy can't find the kill towards Mixwell. Now Peter's trapped, and Freiberg will spray him down in the middle of the bomb site. And OpTic will be on match point, 15-13.
Yeah, a little bit of commentator's curse there talking about how well Slemmy was doing, but he needed to find that one-on-one. Eventually went down to the retake coming through for OpTic, and that was so close once again, especially considering the lack of firepower, the lack of utility that compLexity did have. But we do have a pause coming through, and at this stage, it might be another attack pause coming towards compLexity. I'm not too sure.
Might be OpTic's attack pause, I think. I don't know what compLexity would say at this stage. It's final round.
Don't lose.
Oh, we can't lose, boys, otherwise the game's over. But I think OpTic might actually take the stack pause. I don't know who can confirm it for me, because they need to close this out. If they drop this one, then compLexity are still in it with a chance. Who knows? The truth shall be revealed.
Who knows? We hopefully will find out information on that. But 15-13, like you were saying, compLexity were a nice little showing there. Had every opportunity to kind of steal that round away. It was a 2-on-4 situation, 2-on-5. No,
2-on-5. They took the first 2 picks, and they were in the position to get another one, maybe 2 picks, and they would have been down towards a 1-on-2. But that is a very low percentage chance.
Oh,
and, well, we're back out of the compLexity attack pause, as that is not really the kind of guns that you want to see. Slemmy with no head armor, going to be booked. It looks like it is going to be a A-site play to try to bring it back. They've got the smoke grenades for the wall of smokes. But look at OpTic. They're just sitting far back.
Show us something special, Slemmy. You took the pause. Show us something special.
Look how OpTic have lined up for this wall of smoke play. You don't see anyone extending beyond the threshold of where the smokes are going to pop. You don't see anyone over-aggressing. They just play far back, which is kind of like a little bit of difference in the earlier rounds when OpTic was on the T side. compLexity, they had one member towards potentially sandwich the other 3 further back. As soon as the smokes come across, they nullify it. And there we have it. Here come the smokes. This is the last do or die chance for compLexity right now. Here come the grenades. HS still on the bomb site. 4 members on the A bomb site. Still locked behind the smokes, but the counter incendiary grenades are great. And Alu's still on top of Green Train. He's done a bit of a cold game so far. And there you have it. He's going to be taken out by Android. What a shot. But the rifles are just too supreme for OpTic. They play on the bomb, but look at Mixwell. He's just jumping up, down, left, right, center. He'll get the final pick as well. And Freiburg will get the kill onto a speed up. That is it. 16-13 for compLexity. That's all they wrote. But compLexity, that was actually a great game for them. But they are unable to take it towards the end. Bit of a shame, really, but really good performance.
Yeah, absolutely. Nonetheless, can't take anything away from OpTic as well. Obviously, we're talking about compLexity as the underdogs, and we know how much we love an underdog. OpTic just outclassing there to the end. A couple of really pressure situations, economy in the balance, but eventually do show their class, and they take out the win, which they were favored to do. But once again, compLexity, valiant effort, but we do like how they kind of put up those shocking numbers. Not shocking, but they do kind of put up those impressive numbers on train. Going to this next map here, maybe it might be more of that classic story of OpTic just absolutely whomping house.
Potentially, but it is jumping towards compLexity's pick, I think. I'm not exactly certain which map it is, but it is compLexity's pick, so... Oh, okay, that makes me a little bit scared, because Mirage is just such an open map. Yeah, sure, you start T-side, compLexity, they're able to build something. We can always discuss it afterwards. But that trade match, compLexity, the rounds they won weren't really gifted rounds from OpTic. OpTic the entire time played very respectfully. And imagine if this round went in the favor of compLexity, we could have seen a different story, because that would have been 2 pistol rounds won. But, that's the complete different story as Freiburg jumping in.
Just,
I know they buffed the Glock, but I'm fairly certain they didn't change the jumping accuracy of the Glock.
It's just Freiburg doing Freiburg things, man. And also, I thought Android had the flank there on him for the trade kill, but just that kind of like 90-degree turn pops the head off. That's just those individual plays.
This is around, because literally look at that, 0 wasted movement. It was just beautiful.
Just turning away. So Slemmy was very impressive.
There was like a little bit when it was like calibrating back towards Pop Dog, but that's really just picking it.
That one towards main is just like straight flick, pop. Okay, back to Pop Dog here. Mixwell here, really using pistol. They actually dropped that pistol round, but nonetheless, they did manage to carry out the map win. Yeah, so just pretty clinical stuff there, just shutting down this anti-eco. But Mirage, like you said, tells a different tale, opens up the map a lot more, and maybe these aggressive pushes don't work out as well for the guys in compLexity, and we do see that single just scoreline that we suspected on this map.
I love this little jump boost that compLexity use every single time. It doesn't allow the AWP to really spot out the line.
If I'm Freiburg in that situation, I've uninstalled there. That's just like...
That's unfortunate, but at the end of the day, I do like how compLexity kind of maneuver around, and it didn't really change the outcome too much. At the end of the day, OpTic still took the victory. And I think it was just really on the back of this Ivy control as well. I don't think OpTic lost much control of Ivy at any round. Even in rounds where compLexity were trying to pincer her off, there was nothing they could do. Didn't have the smoke grenades, didn't have the Molotovs, or they burned it too early, or were locked out by the counter utility. And after that extent, after you locked out a counter utility, what do? do.
Yeah, Freiburg really just making over his own, just, you know, peaked at the right time. There's a couple of times where I thought they were just going to line up and give him a 3K, but he did get away with one. But nonetheless, they could never quite push through his defenses. Apart from that one time, Android just absolutely popped him in the face, but you can't expect to do that round after round. And there you have it, 16-13 to OpTic.
Yeah, it's still early days. I mean, it's heating up, but I think OpTic, let's get Mirage, it's an open map.
If it just comes down to the aim tools.
You still favour OpTic, but compLexity have done themselves great favours today. I think that's actually really good to see, because by testing their mettle against some of the against the top team in NA to perform like that, oh, that is beautiful to see.
It is such a Counter-Strike purist UI. Just like those little things like the Slemmy aim, and just the fact that compLexity were managed to win out those rounds and wasn't reliant on OpTic to kind of push and throw and do those things. I really appreciate how much you appreciate that stuff. It's nice.
I don't know. It's just because a lot of the time where
you're just like, what the hell are you talking about?
It's more of like when you look at rounds where teams win a lot of the time, where you just go, they shouldn't have won that because of X, Y, Z reason. You just
like
sit your head, you're just going, what just happened? But in terms of this one, yeah, like this one, it just it kind of works for me as well. Hey, but in this one, it wasn't just, you know, what just happened. It was kind of like double stick, because compLexity, they did this. Well, they did this incorrectly. They'll probably go to the demos and go, look, you shouldn't be calling out this position. They'll realize what they did wrong. They'll fix it for next time. It's promising results. They're playing correct Counter-Strike. OpTic at the same time, they weren't, you know, playing disrespectfully. They're giving their opponents a lot of respect. And I think they were surprised by how aggressive compLexity were coming out at sometimes. I don't think they came in expecting compLexity to do this, and you saw at the end, they definitely had to step it up. Look how they played towards the A site. I think they smelled that, okay, they're not coming towards B that often. We definitely have to stack for A to just deflect against this aggression. No silly pushes. If there were any pushes, it was timed aggression. It was flashbang plays, etc., etc. Like, the only off play I saw was Freiburg, and that was it, where it was just kind of like an off angle to try to catch someone off guard. That's all right, because you're playing something, you're trying to go for something a little bit cheeky, and you're able to do that every now and then. But he didn't do it every single round.
Yeah, absolutely. We just saw that one time, we got absolutely punished for it once again. And then the second time the play did win itself out was on that eco. He did flank around towards that position, got the information, eventually did go down, but that round was already won at that stage. So, you know, that's just the experience of Freiburg coming through there. But, I mean, a lot of that stacking all towards that A bombs that came from Magis, just doing a great job on that inner site.
Absolutely, and I think compLexity may not have tested it that much, but it is map number 1 done. Map number 2 will come up between compLexity as well as OpTic.